Guys, what's up? This is Sugikhan and thanks for joining me today on the patch 5.22 rundown or breakdown, whatever you want to call it. And this patch is huge. Well, that's my best Donald Trump impression. Hopefully you liked it. uh, let's talk about the actual patch, and it's going to be huge. This is the season of the 80 carries. I won't be going too much in detail of every AD carry because Riot did a good preseason video explaining about all the changes to AD carries, and you should check that video. It will give you a better understanding than I will, but I will be just quickly run down every AD carry and talk about my thoughts about their viability. Quinn still has the same awful range, so it seems that she will be good in top because you can now switch the ultimate like on and off, which practically means that you're able to have more attack speed with the Valor form, and that means you can take Church really fast. Trinity might be a really good item for Quinn now, I think so, because it gives CDR, and that's kind of what Quinn needs. I don't think she still will be very good on as an AD carry, and the numbers have been tweaked a bit, so she has more like synergy now with like critical chance because the passive gets cooldown reduced by critical strike, and you have inbuilt like if the Q kills now it will refund half of the cooldown, so you kind of got that pentakill type of aspect to add it. I think this is definitely a buff to Quinn. We will see. Graves has a new mechanic where he has reload system of like every 3 attacks he has to reload, and he has these like I think they're called pellets. So he will attack in cone. He will attack multiple targets now instead of one, and that is very good for wave clear. But he will automatically push now. He can't last hit anymore without shoving the lane. Some people probably won't like that change. I don't like the new Graves. It's more like a burst orientated character, more melee. I don't like the new auto attack thing because it moves him to be more like I hit a lot with one attack instead of like more. So the Q is kind of like a new skill shot, which does like a T-shaped thing and comes back. Smoke Queen stays the same. Quick Draw has few adjustments, and Ultimate will now, do a knockback, which is kind of good. I don't like the new Graves changes. That doesn't mean he will be viable, but I don't like the play style of the new Graves, to be honest. At least what I've seen on the videos. I haven't tried him, but it didn't look fun. Corki has this new thing where there's going to be like a rocket in the base every 8 minutes and after 5 minutes after being used, and gives you like a triple or 4 times the range of the Valkyrie, so you can like hop into the lane really fast. Really good, I guess. It has is a kind of like utility based thing. I'm a big AP Corki player, and for AP Corki that seems a really nice change. The normal Valkyrie range is going down though, and but the package thing has a thing that it will slow the enemies on the trail, which is really good for AP Corki because AP Corki builds Liandry and Realize pretty much. And it has no AD scaling. I didn't think it had before. Gatling gun, some adjustments. Ultimate, pretty much the same. Deals less damage, and has a better AD ratio. But that's not what I want for my AP Corki though. Have to see how this works out for AP Corki. AD Corki buffed. Kokma is kind of interesting. It's a lot squishier for sure. The Q gives more attack speed. The Bioarcane parry just been changed, so it'll like get an attack speed of 5.0 or something like that, or almost 5.0. So it will deal less damage, like 55% less damage, but it will attack multiple times. Really good for Wits End. Maybe it could work on AP Kokma build, like a attack speed based like Nashor's Wits End type of thing, because its on hits effects are really good now for him. Black Cleaver could be a good item for now for Kokma. Not, of course, the last Whisper items are really strong right now, but we will talk about that later. The ultimate now deals triple damage to the low health targets. I like this change, good for AP Kokma. and double damage for 25%, between 50%, so no longer like a base increased damage to champions. MF, well, you got a love tap, which is a new thing. Whenever you change target, you deal extra damage. So an extra damage to turrets, minions can be really abused by high elo players, I think. And the strat has been changed a lot, and mostly stays the same, but the ultimate now makes sense because it's AD based and it has more waves now, so you have to. It's more skill based now, so it lasts longer, but you know it deals more damage, and that's what I like. You know, you just gotta hold out. You got a black shield, more misfortune, etc. Caitlyn's headshot is pretty much changed. So what this means is she will become more like a zoning type of an AD carry now, and her Q and W will trigger this like headshot thing where she will get extra range for her headshot ability, which is kind of interesting mechanic. It's really well explained on the video. There might be some getting used to it though. An ultimate I think triggers something, but it's not actually marked here. I don't know why. Ashe pretty much stays the same. I think there's some adjustments to the critical strike system. And Q has no longer cooldown. And Volley can apparently critical strike against champions. Draven is getting a bit of nerfed. The axes stay in air for a longer time, which means less damage. The attack frame is better. I'm not sure is that a good or bad thing. I was kind of being a bit iffy about that. Israel is getting a, how would I say, like on if Q hits, cooldowns drop more, and this is good for ultimate, very good for AP Israel, and the E's cooldown is high because of this change. I don't know how the new items are good for Israel that much. I have to get back to that. And Jinx will lose 50% attack speed while using rockets, but the passive will give now 15% attack speed per kill or assist, and duration is 6 seconds, which is crazy good. Still super viable. I think every other AD carry will be really good. Kalista is getting changes to base attack speed and attack speed growth. The passive will now scale from attack speed, not movement speed, which is actually pretty good. You can have more movement by having more attack speed runes, etc., which is kind of cool. Lucian, now good quality of life change. The ultimate doesn't scale with attack speed, so you can build like a more caster type of build, like Ludicity Boots. You don't need to build Berserker Scripts because you need more attack speed to the ultimate. And now there's a set amount of bullets each rank. I think Sivir is getting a bit nerfed on the Ricochet. Tristana, some changes how the cooldown wizards work pretty much with every ability. Not much else to really add here. I think there's like plus minus thing. Twitch can use he can activate the ultimate while on stealth. The stealth has some quality of life changes, which is great. Varus now has an interesting change where the ultimate will create 3 stacks of blight over the duration of the route. That is a very interesting change for AP Varus players. Those who know how strong AP Varus is, it's like crazy when you have 600 AP that equals like 3 stacks being worth of 33% of max health or something. And with that kind of comboing, I think somebody might pull it off. Just AP Varus is a bit better, worse laning, but Vayne will do more damage with silver bolts. Now it's based on his minimum damage and his all maximum health. Now 12% is huge, really huge. I don't know how this will affect the overall numbers, but good against the tanks, I guess. Urgot has no armor and magic resistance true to the ultimate anymore. It has damage reduction. Overall, much better change. Really good, because this will apply to true damage. Quality of life changes to Azure, some ultimate fixes. Kitter's passive is now capped at 75 against monsters. And some quality of life changes. Also, you get Baron, Nashor, and Rifthalard at 6 stacks, which you can hunt. I don't understand why Dragon is not here, but I don't know. Quality of life changes to these, not really much to talk about. Shaco. The E will no longer blind the monsters. That will slow their attack speed. This is, I think it's, I don't know how many times the jungle monster attacks the duration of the time. Essentially, could be better. I don't know. Would have to run the math. But from me, from the looks of it, I think it's worse. Some quality of life changes we don't really need to talk about. These are nothing important. And ADs are getting changed a lot, so they have more base AD. The growths are getting smaller though. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Higher base AD, they have more able to do early game more. Last hitting will be easier. Mana regions are getting changed. Mostly, I think base manas are going up for the most part, and the growth set is going lower, so you can do more things early on, more poking, more aggressive play, which I like. And very nice changes. I think on every champion this appears to be the case. And supports get more base mana region, which is kind of weird because these champions can be played on different roles, and this will apply to their strengths on other lanes, which is stupid from Riot. I don't know why they did this. Grievous Wounds, that red dagger thing, which over your hero, champion, will now be 40% instead of 50%, and it only will penalize like self heals, like spell vamp and lifesteal, and flat Q, stuff like that, but no longer like if you Soraka heals you won't be applied to that, which is pretty huge. And there's a switch to import with basic attacks that they won't be charged when they miss. Quality of life change pretty much. And then there's this new creature at the Baron Pit called Rift Herald. It has like 3k health, I think, in the beginning. You kill it, you get 10% AD, 40% movement speed, and enchanted Baron Recall, and you get more minions and extra range for minions. This is huge for top laners, really huge. And you get 50 gold for killing it too, to all of your team, so you can trade for. This is better than Drake's, to be honest, at least in terms of pushing. If your top laner is better, looking forward to play a lot of top and AD carry in the next patch because of this. The game changing, its pacing is changing a lot, and almost could make an entire video about this, but a lot of how the goal works, a lot of how the experience works, everything, snowballing, everything gonna be different. Apparently there was initially some death timers changes, but they weren't put into live, so I guess they dropped them. The game starts now 15 seconds earlier, pretty much minions spawn and jungles comp spawn 15 seconds earlier. Less of a level 1 strategies, I like it. Less a waste of timing, 15 seconds. Ambient gold, so the gold income increases, and the 2 members who have least gold in the team will get more gold after 12 minutes. Good for jungle and support, I guess. Kill gold, I won't be going into this math a lot, but bounties, don't add too much gold anymore, so you get, I guess I didn't read this fully, but I think it's got less gold now. Turrets, you can deal more damage to them with an AP champions. Well, 10% more, or I don't know what you want to put. Zero. Well, it's 10% more actually. Really good for late game for champions who want split push. I love this stain change. Turrets no longer get like base armor and resistance of 500. They gain it throughout time. You can do those like cheesy strats of walking into the lane in the first minute or first seconds and just die to the turret and deal some damage, because there will be, you can like push 3 hour attacks, that's 50 damage to the turret. They don't have that much armor and magic resistance early on, so early pushing will be really good. This is, but they have more health though. But and you get more gold from them too. This is just practically means that split pushing in general will be good. They also removed the fucking thing which gave shields at this tier 2 turret. Extremely toxic game mechanic, now removed. I love it. Minions, there's a lot of math in there. They will give more gold pretty much throughout the time. Further the game goes, more gold they will be worth. Jungle tuning seems to be, we're going back to the glorious days of Season 2 or Season 3 jungle, where you could jungle with Karthus and all these random champions. All the jungle minions have less health or armor, pretty much. They have more magic resistance, so I guess bad for Fiddle, I guess, but it's really good because now you can pick anything on the jungle almost because of these. Rift Scholar could be a bit more squishier. Teleport is now getting nerfs, so more seconds when you use it on turret, and casting time will increase by half a second. This is kind of plus minus thing, because how should I put it, like there's items that are going to be dropping the duration anyhow of the teleport, which is kind of problematic in my opinion. But it will be weaker early on for sure. They removed clairvoyance and clarity. I was actually thinking CV was a good ability, but I guess it punishes too much the jungle. I think it was really good, just out of meta, but I don't think it was bad. I don't think they should have changed it, but I guess this is the end of Disco Nunu. Clarity now removed, thank God. Thank God. It will be harder to make people dodge on the lobbies now because you can't pick troll spells. That's what I don't like though. But I guess the whole queuing system is better. They removed a bunch of items. Mana potions, probably most important. So new items, there's a lot of them. BF sword gives less AD, costs now less gold too. Clock of Agility buffed. Infinity Edge now gives more AD, less AD, but it's cheaper. It's more like a crit time by item. So essentially, a lot of items will now have more crit than attack speed. So you will have higher critical damage in the game. So essentially, what it means, IE will be still good, even though it loses 2080 or 1580. Essence Reaver, it now gives you cooldown reduction based on your critical strike, 20% of your critical strike or something like that. Critical strikes restore 3% of your maximum mana too. Gives less of an AD now, but has crit now, no lifesteal. Recruitable. Why is it on hits physical damage? Never had that. Well, it gives now 15 on hit physical damage, I guess. Less attack speed. It's cheaper. Black Water Cutlass gives more lifesteal. And Ruin King nerfed. I guess that makes sense. Zeal is a bit stronger. More attack, well, less attack speed, more crit. Phantom Dancer now is no longer giving base movement speed, but while you are within 500 units of enemy champion you see, you get 12% movement speed and pass-through units. Here's the problem. 500 units is not much for a champion that has a higher range at 500 units. If Caitlyn has 550, you can't kite from the max range, and that movement speed will be useless for you. So I will change that based on the AD carry you will be playing, or the range of the carry you're playing, because it will be useless for the long range AD carries. So stick with Static Shiv, I guess. But you know, it has less crit and attack speed too now. The other passive is Lament, which is attacking a champion causes them to deal 20% less damage to you for 10 seconds. It's pretty fucking huge. It can save you from being bursted by LeBlanc or something. It's very situational item. It's a duelist item. Runan's Hurricane is the new PD, so that gives. This will be my favorite item probably. So it gives less deck speed. Now has crit though, and has 5% movement speed. This is what we always needed for it. On hit physical damage is now 15 out of 10 instead of 10. And bolt. Okay, the bolt ratio damage is going down, but they can crit now, which is is pretty insane. Pretty insane damage, I think. Will be very interested to see this someone with like Ash or something. I don't know how it works essentially, but interesting. Gitch's Charge is something built out of Dagger now. It's pretty much like a static shiv, and it builds to static shiv, by the way. Static shiv now gives more crit, less attack speed, and gives you more shiv magic damage essentially, and it hits 5 targets in 4 and 50% bonus damage to minions. Extremely good for wave clear. Extremely good for wave clear. Beautiful item. Mwah, mwah. I love it. Also, it's really good for, because I think the shiv still can crit, so the overall critical damage of this will go higher. Movement speed going 1%. Who cares? Maybe Hecarim does. Well, you didn't build this for Hecarim anyways. And there's a new animation for it, which looks cool. Rapid Fire Cannon is similar to Static Shiv, but it gives you this thing called like bonus range, and you can hit turrets without them being able to hit you, like you see on the video about 80 carries and precision changes. Very nice item, and you can use it on structures and it will do that energized damage. Really good item. Niche item. I don't see this as a late game item. Maybe there's some niche champion that could get a lot of use for this. I guess Caitlyn could use it, but it still doesn't give the movement speed, so I'm kind of torn between. Okay, Last Whisper is now cheaper. Gives 2580 and 30% bonus armor penetration. But this time it builds to 2 different items, which we're going to talk about in a second. Then you have this Giant Slayer, which builds out of Longsword, and it will deal more damage to the champions that have more health than you, pretty much. Executioner's Calling, it's giving now 80 instead of crit, previous ones. And the other, where the Giant Slayer builds from, is to the Lord Dominic's Records. This deals up to 15% damage against enemy champions with greater health than you. 1.5% per 50 health difference, maxing at 500 health difference, so 15%. 40-80 and 40% bonus armor penetration. All the armor items are being nerfed too in this patch, kinda, so it's gonna be a huge item. Mortal Reminder is pretty much the same, but it doesn't have this 15. It doesn't have max health thing. It has this physical damage previous ones thing. The Dominic's is clearly better. I don't see why the Mortal Reminder can be good against an 80 carry versus 80 carry, maybe there, but Mercurial Scimitar now gives lifesteal. Very nice change. I like this one. I really like this one. And Bloodthirster gives 580 less and it costs more. And AP items are getting pretty much more expensive. Sonya will be expensive, gives less armor. And the Seekers give less AP and armor. Everything's going cost more. But Lord of Ages giving 20 more AP. Pretty much some build paths are getting changed, but everything's more expensive. Medras is getting changed, so it has a maximum stacks of 125. You lose 10 stacks on dying though. Kinda a lot. Don't die. Buy gives now 200 mana, so it's good. The build item with builds from Dark Souls is actually decent, and you don't get cooldown anymore. You get 10% movement speed with this, which is good. I won't diss people using this item anymore, I guess, but it's still super risky and I don't know. And as we continue, more Lich Bane is getting stronger because Sheen doesn't. Well, the AP stays the same. Sheen doesn't give any more AP in this patch. Movement speed 2% more, and cooldown reduction 10%. Really good niche because let's say you want to play Diana, Lich Bane for Diana. You don't need to go CDR item. You can just build Lich Bane. You get 10% CDR from there. Nashor gives more now at XP. Yay for Teemo. Defense items. Arden's Mail, 5 less armor. Thorandun gives more health. Spectre Skull, less magic resistance. Banshee's buffed, more health and magic resist. It just seems like AP champion's gonna be a lot nerfed in this patch. I think teams with good AD carries are like, you know, Imp, Double Lift. I would love to see these kind of teams play more, and they will be more in carry potential role in this patch because of the new item station. Unless people are able to find Zed and Talon and Yasuo with these new items. So far I haven't seen a lot of things, except Yasuo benefits a lot from the static shift changes and the new Last Whisper. I don't think there's Guardian Angel going a bit stronger. GA is going to be important, I guess, in this patch. You don't want to die too much because snowballing is harder. The Machi now gives lifesteal versus monsters, so no spell vamp anymore. AP jungle's kind of more in trouble, I guess. And you can build this new thing called Talisman of the Hunter's Talisman, which will do this ignite thing. And Skull, and some tweaking on the numbers, but pretty much like more mana regen and instead of lifesteal, blah blah blah. And you got this new thing called Tracker's Knife. Guess it's a Mick Dundee reference. I'm gonna put a Mick Dundee video where I think the reference is from. It just now has a wired item built to it. And the Runeglaive is going a bit nerfed, more mana though. Warrior gives now 15 more AD, but losing 10 armor penetration is much more valuable. I think it's a lot weaker now. Devourer is the stronger one now. Ancient Coin and Nomad's Medallion kind of suck. A lot of nerfs to them. They lose the movement speed. I have this nice Soraka build that I was working on, but it's now shit because there's no movement speed from these items anymore. I guess the items are a bit cheaper though. Yeah, I think you get like 500 gold now in the beginning of the game or something. But pretty much the tier 2 of these support items can be built to these. Oh yeah, and the first Q's claim now summons 2 Icy Ghosts. They are the I don't remember the item that got removed, the AP item with 6% movement speed, whatever. That is now this. And so stealth warts are out of the game. This is a big change. So you can buy pink warts now. I guess this is a good change. And trinket warts upgrade automatically, so you don't need to upgrade your trinkets anymore. So, you know, you got Side Stone, Rapid Stone. They can be built into these. Well, I have the Watchers, I have the Assassins, I have the Equinox, but the Watcher seems to be the strongest one. They kind of give low health still, only 200. Okay, this one gives 500, but it's pretty much a ward with the GB5 and like the passive, whatever it is, the equivalent. You guys know them. Nice change. And trinkets, as I said, no need to purchase them. They upgrade automatically at level 9. Scrying Orb removed. Warding totems have no different duration based on level. And Farsight alteration is a totem thing. And Sweeping Lens, you got some range changes, cooldown changes, some tweakings. And Doran's shield is a bit more expensive. Doran's blade is getting buffed by 10 gold, but you get 10 more health and 180. Doran's ring gives now 50% mana regen instead of per second shit, so better on late game. Dark Seal, this is the one that builds the Magi's, gives you bonus healing from potions, which is kind of cool. You can cost 400, so you can get 2 potions and they will be more effective. Gives 15 AP, 100 mana, and this do or die thing, which when the glory points they give you, but this is a maximum of 10 glory. It's good item. I think Doran's ring might be a bit weaker than this, but Doran's ring gives 60 health, so I guess there's no sustain in it. Call is, you know, life on hit and gives 5 AD. Gives also gold on kills, 1 additional gold. At 100 minions, get 300 extra gold. More better on the higher low games, because I still would go Doran's blade though. And new potions, mana potions are removed, as I mentioned. Health potion costs more. Refillable potion, something, it's kind of flask, so you just get back and you can refill it. 2 charges. Hunter's potion is pretty much the same as refillable potion, but you get charges for killing large monsters at jungle. And it heals a bit less, but it has 5 charges though. It's kind of good item, but it's not. It's 400 gold though. That's the problem. I don't know if you can jungle with this item only. Can you drop the match sheet and just get this? Maybe. Corruption potion, just deals damage over time. Shit. Spells and attacks burn enemy champions. Magic damage over 3 seconds. Good for brand, I guess. Elixir Druid removed. Elixir of Iron now gives only health. Sorcery buffed by 10 AP. Elixir of Wrath gives 50% all physical damage, though. Really good item. And 3080. Costs more. Boots are cheaper overall. Berserker's Greaves gives 5% more AE. Smooth Swiftness, 5 more movement speed. I like this change because it was kind of shitty item. Onion Boots now give 10% CDR and 10% Summoner Spell CDR. And this is counterproductive because this helps the TP users, and I didn't like this change because of this one, but it's a very powerful thing. You have also Mastery that reduces, now you can reduce the Summoner Spells so much with the new trees. Tenacity going down by 20 to 200%. This is a pretty huge change. Pretty good nerf, pretty high nerf. Ninja Tabi will be much more optimal choice instead of Mercury Treads now. And you get 5 more armor from it. And the enchantments are getting cheaper. And the enchantment distortion gives 15 instead of 20. But you still get 25 with distortion and Lotus Boots. Yeah, Death Stance, new item. It gives 80, 10% CDR, deals from all damage done, 12% could be for Zed, and it has this bleed thing. Hex Drinker now is getting scaling for the shield based on level, more MR, less AD. I love the new Malmortius, by the way, so it loses 5 AD, 10 more magic resistance, and armor penetration, which is really good. This is super. I love this item. Lifeline shield, so you get one per opponent magic resistance, but since we get from 50, it's 350 instead of 400. But if you build like GA, it's automatically better than the old shield, so it's pretty fucking rad. I think it's a pretty strong shield. It doesn't give you the AD thing, but it gives you this new passive. When the lifeline triggers, you get 20% attack speed, 10% spell wamp and lifesteal until you leave combat. Pretty fucking good change. Pretty good fucking ability. I love this item. We will be seeing it more from AD carries. Frozen Mallet, less health, more AD. Yumo, no longer crit, more AD. And no armor penetration, which they forgot to mention from here, I guess. No, it still exists. Brutalizer is just gone. I'm sorry about that. Oh, my throat is getting dry. So pretty much it now gives 80 attack speed and ability power, and it's good for Teemo and Jax, but it's kind of useless for everybody else. Gunblade now heals from all damage dealt. Active has less of a cooldown and has AoE reduction. Tiamat's getting some tweak changes, not need to. Oh, it doesn't have the cleave thing anymore, okay. Hydra and Titanic Hydra, you can think the recipes are a bit different, and you can switch between two items. You can switch around if you want to change to the other, which is cool, without cost. Interesting changes. I always think Hydra is shit, but it doesn't have 50 more health, so it might be a bit better. Phage, less AD. Black Cleaver, less AD, more AD, less health. Trinity, more mana, less movement speed, more gold cost, more crit, less attack speed, less AD, no AP, 10% CDR. Some people said it is a nerf. I think this is kind of becoming a more niche item, and there's some changes that are really good for this. People who kind of need CDR, you just kind of, I think it's still good for Ezreal and stuff like that. It's still a good item. Iceborne no longer gives CDR. No, sorry, no longer gives AP, so you get more CDR and more armor now. And the size of the slow increases now with your bonus armor. Witsend getting nerfs, less AD, less attack speed and less on hit damage, but 10 more magic resistance or more sustain item. But it costs more. This is, I don't understand this change. Some cold tweaks here and there. These are not really important items. Some tweaks here and here. Mana Crystal gives more mana. Good for Rise. Rise is gonna be strong. Sheen gonna be less, cost less, more mana, but CDR now. Tear of the Goddess more expensive. Tears of the Anivia are getting stacked now. And some just small tweaks in there and there in the items. We don't really need to go into that. Negatron Clock. We got these new items, so. So the Yarim's Fist gives you more maximum health when you last hit. It's a new item which builds into stuff. Serrated Dirk. It's kind of like every time you last hit, you deal 50 bonus spell damage with just single next ability or AD attack, which is really good for harassing. It also has armor penetration and attack damage. And Caulfield's Warhammer gives AD and CDR. This seems like a Dota item for some reason, I don't know why. Vampire Scepter gonna be stronger. 1580, 10% lifesteal. Amplified Tome, cheaper, but 5 less AP. And Gendagam, cheaper. Masteries, I have already another video about that. Go check that one out. We're not going to talk about that. Because I broke down everything there already. End of the season rewards, Victorious server side. Now you can change some server shit for the key bindings instead of the account, so they will be account bound, not your computer bound. Mac load, you're a Mac fag. Sorry, but I just have to say it. Some bug fix. My mouth is dry. This video was already 40 minutes. Hopefully you stood by all of it. Just overall things, just last things. Well, you know, AD cards gonna be real strong, split pushing gonna be stronger, and there's gonna be more interesting metagame. I think it will be more snowbally too. It's going to be taking a lot of time to see what the meta is like. AP champions in mid may be a bit weaker. I would see Talon and Yasuo on the Z kind of coming up because of these new items. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. That always helps if you want to support me. Cheers.